All right, so if you've ever been around, industrial monitoring or environmental control, you get that it's not always the big flashy screens that matter.
Not at all.
It's the little guys, the tiny devices in between. And today we're doing a deep dive on one of those unsung heroes, the NTI ES420MA-24V 420MA sensor converter.
Exactly. And our mission is really to unpack why this little box is so important. It's an external device, uses an RJ45 port, and its whole job is to monitor up to 2 analog sensors, the ones that use that classic 420 milliamp standard.
And it's basically a translator, right?
It is. It's taking that raw current and turning it into something the central monitoring system can actually understand.
That's the key bit right there. It's not standalone. You have to plug it into an NTI system. We're talking the E16D, the E5D, or the E2D. Let's just call it the data hub to keep it simple.
Right.
But that brings up a question for me. In this super digital age, why are we still leaning so heavily on an analog standard like 420 MAA?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it really gets to the core of why it's such brilliant engineering. It's all about reliability.
Right.
Think about it. If you had a sensor that used, say, 0 to 10 volts, and you got a reading of 0, what does that mean?
It could mean the reading is actually 0, or
Oh,
the cable's cut.
exactly. You don't know. But with 420 MA, 4 milliamps is your operational 0. That's the lowest possible reading. If the system sees 0 milliamps, it knows instantly.
There's a fault, a wire break or something.
That's system failure. It's designed to fail safely.
That's smart. So the converter is translating this fail-safe signal, but it's doing more than just listening in, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. One of the huge advantages here is that it actually powers the sensors. It pushes out a steady 24 volts DC with 25 milliamps for each of the 2 sensors.
You don't need to run a separate power line out to wherever your sensor is?
You don't. It dramatically simplifies your whole setup.
Okay, so that's power. Now, the source materials mention it supports specific sensor types, IC type 2, 3, and 4. What does that actually mean for someone setting this up?
It just means flexibility. You can think of those ISA types as different languages for how a sensor turns a measurement like pressure or temperature into that 4 to 20 milliamp signal.
So by supporting all 3.
By supporting all 3, this one converter is suddenly compatible with a massive range of industry standard sensors. You can plug almost anything into it.
And once all that data gets back to the data hub, that's where you get your alerts. You can set it up to ping you if the current goes too high or too low.
Precisely. That's your actionable intelligence right there.
So let's talk about hooking it up. It looks pretty straightforward. Screw terminal connector and then just standard network cable like CT5 or CT6.
That's it. Simple and standard.
Now, this is the part I found really, really cool. The distance. With a regular copper cable, you can put this thing 500 feet away from the hub.
Right. And you can even push that to about 1,000 feet if you use the higher spec cable.
1,000 feet is already pretty good for most facilities, but that's not the end of the line, is it?
Not even close. This is the game changer. If you pair this with NTI's fiber converter, the EFSC,
Okay.
you can push the sensor location out to 1.2 miles.
Wait, say that again?
1.2 miles. That's 2 kilometers away from the main ENVIROMUX unit.
You're telling me a sensor reading, I don't know, dust levels in a building on the far side of a campus can send its data back through this one little box over 2 kilometers.
That's exactly what I'm telling you. It completely changes the scale of what you can monitor. We're talking pipelines, huge industrial sites, remote weather stations.
Wow. That turns it from just a simple converter into a critical piece of infrastructure tech.
It really does. That range, plus the signal reliability we talked about, is why these devices are still the workhorses of the industry.
So to wrap it up for you, the listener,
Yeah.
the ES420MA-24V is TAA compliant, RoHS approved, and it comes with a 2-year warranty. It solves distance, it solves power, it's a solid piece of kit.
And here's the final thought I want to leave you with. Remember, this converter is, it's agnostic. It just reads the current level.
Right.
But think about what you're connecting to it. The sources mention things like the EDS optical dust sensor, an ENLS noise level sensor, even an eFence E1 fence vibration sensor.
A fence vibration sensor.
So the provocative thought is this. Consider all the real-world things, the dust in the air, the sound of machinery, the actual vibration of a perimeter fence, that this one small, standardized piece of tech is responsible for turning into instant, actionable data for you. It's the bridge from the physical world to the digital.